Hi guys, and welcome to the Amateur Watch Collector channel with me, CG, and this is a long overdue, basically state of the collection. I'm going to break it down into two parts. This first part, part one, is going to be looking over what I have now, and then part two is basically going to be a look at what I plan to do in the future, what my hopes are to do in the future. Alright, so let's get right into it. Here we go. Alright, so right now I've got 8 pieces. First up is my Marathon GSAR, Government Search and Rescue. Basically I keep this one as my tool watch. So this one's with me when I chase 3 boys around, work in the yard. And this has ETA 2824 movement. It's got the tritium tubes. I'm not going to get overly specific on any specs, as I actually think I've done videos for most all these, and there's several videos out there that cover that, so it's really just an overview of what I've got right now. Next up here is the blue Squally, and as you guys are well aware, I've got this one in 2 colors, and I'll switch them around from the bracelet to a strap to a leather band, and I am absolutely smitten with these. I wear them pretty much any chance I get where it doesn't seem like it's gonna look too ridiculous, you know, with whatever other colors I'm wearing. These obviously also have the Swiss ETA 2824 movement. I love the different colors of the dials, the different accessorizing that I can do with it, with my clothes and different things that I'm wearing. So I appreciate the color that it brings to everything that I've got. Before I purchased these, I pretty much stuck to, as you can see, when these didn't exist, along with the third Squally that I picked up, I pretty much had either black or white dials that I kind of rotated around. I've really fallen in love with these pieces, and I don't see them going anywhere in the near future. Along with the Marathon. Next up here I have the de facto 1, and I absolutely love this. Now, of all the automatic pieces that I have on here, this is the only one that doesn't have an ETA movement. This one actually has the Miyota 9015 movement. Very reliable movement, obviously a one-handed piece. It's also the only one of the pieces I have, aside from the Bradley, which we'll get into, that doesn't have a date on it. I really just prefer to have the date, but there's something about really the beauty of this one, the fact that it's understated, but it's very classically designed, very clean, but not overly simple. It's elegant in the way that everything that was put together was carefully thought out. The rectangular lines of the hour markers, the skeletonized one hand, the 15-minute increments of each of the markers in between the hour markers, you know, and the finishing for this piece is phenomenal, and I absolutely love the gray band that it came on. So even though it doesn't have a date on it, which means I don't wear it as much as I might if it did have the date, this one's also a keeper. I love this one. I love this one. So that's not going anywhere. I think it just brings something a little bit different to everything else that I've got. The other Squally Diver. I love the look of this. Really, I love the versatility that the 3 Squallies bring in terms of how much the look of them can be changed by changing the bands, either from leather bands to rubber bands, or back to the metal bracelet. In that sense, they each very much feel like more than one watch a piece, which, you know, really is fantastic. It's one of my favorites. I think I'm very smitten with all 3 Squallies right now, and they do get a lot of wrist time. In fact, I was wearing this one today. And I've put it on the water-resistant band with the white stitching. And I actually picked this one up from Strap for Time. It was recommended to check them out for straps, and so I ended up doing just that. And I picked up a few of them. This being one of the straps bands that I picked up, and I absolutely love it. Next up, we have the E1 Bradley. I do also have, you know, an unboxing video and review on this one. With this piece, I really like the uniqueness of it. I like the inspiration behind it. I'm not going to get into it in this video. If you're kind of interested in the entire backstory, you can certainly check out that video. But it's obviously a piece that was made to tactily tell time, so you don't have to look down at it. You can feel where the time is. So you have these magnetic ball bearings that go back to the time as they should. The inner ball bearing is actually telling you your minutes, and the outer ball bearing gives you the hour. If they get dislodged, they go back in place. The case is titanium, so it is quite light. It is a Swiss quartz movement. It's very different, you know. It's not something that you're used to seeing, and it has a very nice backstory. To be honest, I don't really wear it that often. Being titanium, it's pretty light, and I do like some weight to my watches. These two on the outside are both guest collection. These were some of the first watches that I picked up when I started kind of really thinking, hey, you know, maybe I want to start having more than one watch. So this is a guest collection Chronograph Diver. It is a Swiss movement. They are Swiss made, as you can see on the bottom there, and it does have a Swiss quartz movement, sapphire crystal as well. This is probably my biggest watch. It is an absolute beast, but I love it. I love this piece. Aesthetically, I love looking at it. I mean, looking at it makes me happy. It's quite a unique stainless steel bracelet. The other one, and this one I think is, this one I am going to be selling. This is the other guest collection diver that I have. Also has a Swiss quartz movement chronograph as well. They both have screw down crowns, which is nice, and screw down case backs. But I try not to wear it at all, or I haven't worn it since I put it up for sale, because I don't want to scratch it or anything like that. You know, I try to take really good care of my pieces, not because I want to turn around and sell them, but because personally I want them to look as nice as possible for as long as possible. Once they start to get dinged up and scratched, you know, I don't look at them the same. They have very nicely signed crowns. So these are two that I've kept around because aesthetically I just love them. I find them very visually appealing, and so I told myself, hey, you know, you got to get rid of one of these to kind of work towards everything else you want. So this is the one that's being sacrificed at the moment. So this is where I stand. This is where I stand. Ideally, I'd like to keep it to where I've only got 10, this top box. Now, this watch box does have a bottom drawer. Bottom drawer, I try to reserve that really for all the straps. I've got a bunch of NATO straps here, rubber straps, the stainless steel bands for all the pieces, extra spring bars. You know, so I've tried to reserve the bottom for really accessories for all of them. And I'm trying to kind of have some semblance of control over not going too out of hand with the collection, and keep it to where it stays in this top section. Now, where I'd like to go in the future, first and foremost, is a dress watch. Now the two pieces that are missing that I had most recently are the Oberst Morgan and the Hamilton Field Khaki. The Oberst Morgan I was kind of hoping to have as a secondary tool watch, but you know, it ended up just being so big. It wore so big. The Hamilton Field Khaki, although I did love that piece and still do, with everything else that I had, it never got worn. So basically that one was sacrificed to go towards a dress watch. So definitely looking to add a couple of dress pieces. The Seamaster and a few models of the Rolexes are things that I've kind of been kicking around. That is the state of the collection. I think that pretty much wraps up part one, and part two is going to cover the ones that I'm looking at picking up in the future. Alright, so that's it for part one. CG out.